It's Monday night, and you know what that means. You better be dancing out there.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what, let's face it, Thanos should have done to all of us. You know, I don't think we deserve life with the stupid things that we do as humans. I hope that you all saw what happened last night when I took apart piece by piece the TikTok Flerf extraordinaire Caleb. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Absolutely ruined him. His only evidence of anything was a satire article that he used to try and disprove gravity. And I am now convinced, after interacting with him on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, that he doesn't know what the word satire means because he's doubled down on that being evidence of his claim. I had fun. He, of course, is playing pigeon chess and screaming like he won the debate, but we all know that's not true. Anyway, today we have a lovely treat for you because today we're just moving slightly away from specifically Flat Earth, and we are talking to Al Truther about whether NASA and space travel, it's all fake or not. Al, hello, welcome back to the channel. How you doing?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Can you hear me? I'm having real problems with sound here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh dear me, it's gone.
Oh, it was fine just now. We heard each other, but now it's gone weird. Of course it has.
It's gone.
Can you
it's
hear
gone.
me?
The sound's gone, mate.
The sound's gone.
Oh, fuck. I tried to put you on speaker because it really wasn't coming out loud here, and now it's completely gone.
Give him a sec to try and sort that out. Can you hear me?
Try the link again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we can do. All right.
All right. Well, he goes out and comes back in. Just want to say that, yeah, thank you for watching yesterday and for the support as well. The replay that I did on my channel, I got a massive amount of support. It was absolutely brilliant, including, like, you know, another 70 new members. And Otto has become another new member today. Hello, Otto. Thank you. Welcome to Scrappers. Matt Arnold, Matt, welcome and thank you very much for using your first super chat, popping your super chat cherry on my channel to say thank you for dismantling Caleb. He thinks he won. Whoa, the only Flerf who got any credit from last night was Jeranism as a moderator. Yeah, absolutely right. I did dismantle Caleb. And of course, he is playing pigeon chess and screaming like he won. Even though he, you know, used satire as evidence and didn't know how buoyancy worked and demanded that I try and take into account a thing that doesn't exist in an experiment to prove that it's that thing that doesn't exist.
Fucking hell.
It's brilliant. Thank you, Matt Arnold, for that £5, and thank you for popping your super chat, Cherry. Icy Spin 199 says Saturn telescope video footage. Please, Al, explain. Magic, obviously. Right. Al has left, and he will come back. Now you get to see multiple me's. Hey! It's fun. Watch. If I press this button, it goes. Oh. Not that button. I didn't mean to press that button. You do this, and you do this. You just get infinite Craigs. Look at it. Ah, Craig forever. One Craig. Infinite Craigs. Ah. Yeah, I have too much fun doing this. PhD Tony for $2 Australian says, did someone just accuse Caleb of thinking? Good point. Caleb never thinks. So yeah, Al, who I will be talking to when he comes back, he obviously he's convinced that NASA and everything are completely fake. And he sent me some pictures which really don't prove anything, as you would expect from flat earthers. Lord Sifri, €2.49 with no message. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate the super chat. And that is your first super chat on a live stream. So I am honoured that you chose me to pop your super chat cherry. You can get a heart. You get a heart. I like that I can heart these things from here now. Let's see if Al's coming back. Has Al tried turning it off and on again? Says Timo Lynch for €2. Exactly. Oh man! So during the debate last night, Caleb was fantastic. He there was one moment which I absolutely love, and I'm going to make an entire episode about, where he says what evidence is there of Earth orbiting the sun, and I'm like, well, the satellites from space that have a good view of it happening, and he's like, where's the videos then? Where's the videos? You know, where's the video? Why is there no video? Give me a video. So I tell him about, you know, how DirecTV had the 24-hour live stream for many years, and then he instantly goes from give me the video to trying to prove that all videos could possibly be fake by telling me his girlfriend might be Bigfoot or something. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it wasn't a fever dream. I'm positive that that's actually what happened last night. That he tried to disprove all videos by saying his girlfriend might be Bigfoot. Professor Phil Bell in the chat, hello, Prof, nice to see you, is absolutely convinced that Caleb is a Poe. Yeah, here's the thing, Prof. I don't think he will come on my show. The only way I will ever talk to him is by being on someone else's show. Right, let's see if... Ow, can you hear me?
Yes, that's better. Bloody hell. Sorry, mate. I don't know what happened then.
It's obviously the Freemason lizard people not wanting you to get the truth out. Right? I mean, that's the only explanation.
I'll get back in my seat. Oh.
Icy Spin 199 says at some point ask him about magic water balls on the ISS. And then Mark London for $10 Canadian says just a little something to help cover the cost of all the lawsuits from last night for people not coming with enough facepalm protection. Yeah, I should have warned people, right? Anyway. All right, anyway, hello, Al. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm sorry about the cancellation on Friday. Had a really terrible week.
Life happens.
Wasn't in the right headspace, and it just all went off drama-wise. Got a friend who's really struggling, so
yeah. You don't need to explain, Al. Honestly, I understand. Life happens. You explained to me. You were very honest and apologetic. I appreciated that. And it wasn't like at the last second, which I also appreciated. So no worries. Don't worry at all. You don't need to apologize. All right.
I'm sure we didn't ruin anyone's Friday night.
No, I'm sure they could find something else to do. There's plenty of dumb people online. Right, anyway, so Al, you want to talk about how you think that NASA are completely fake, right?
Oh, well, you wanted me to talk. You invited me back on again. You said, yes. I think it's time we had another little chat, like a close gangster.
And we agreed that we would talk, that you wanted to talk about NASA being fake? Because you think you're more confident with that than the flat Earth stuff, right?
I'm more comfortable with it. It's less. I think it's more about discernment and actual science-based stuff, which I'm a bit more comfortable with than the whole flat Earth debate. Which is, I'm happy to kind of give it a go, but it's difficult for me. Other people are better at debating, and other people are better at the science and the academic side of it. I see this as slightly different, and hopefully we can have you running for cover. But I'm not expecting too much. This whole thing. There's an answer for everything. There's an explanation for everything. I'm sure I'm not going to throw anything at you you haven't heard before. You haven't explained away before. But we'll see how it goes. It's more of a chat and a discussion than a debate, I would say.
Okay, cool. Well, you can lead the conversation and talk about the things that you want to talk about. Bring up any topics and I might go over it.
Well, the first thing I want to come to is something we covered in the last debate. You quite confidently told me that Stanley Kubrick didn't meet NASA and that I'd been fooled by flat earthers. And I actually thought, shit, in the live debate, have I got this wrong? And I went and had a look at it afterwards. And it is officially documented that he met with NASA. So I mean, that's the first photograph I've sent you. It is Stanley Kubrick. The question is, what were they meeting about? Because, of course, it come around the same time as A Space Odyssey was being made in 1968. Well, that was released in 1968, A Space Odyssey, wasn't it?
Yeah, so, we've got this, the picture, Ordway with NASA officials touring MGM Borwood during pre-production of 2001, A Space Odyssey. See, I never said that he never met with them. I said that he never met with them to fake the moon landings. That whole thing was not anything that ever happened. This particular thing was they were having NASA give them instructions on what it should look like. That's the only reason why they were there, and that's why they're saying it was pre-production for shooting 2001: A Space Odyssey. They wanted to get some experts' opinions on what space would actually look like and be like on film. But what there is never any evidence of is Stanley Kubrick having anything to do with the moon landings.
Well, no, it'd be pretty sloppy if there was actual evidence that he had something to do with it. It's still up in the air. He still met with them. The thing really I wanted to point out was you said he didn't meet with them, and that's the only thing I wanted to point out. I'm fully aware that it can be argued that it was to do with the film he was making. There are other connections with Stanley Kubrick, but it's all esoteric stuff. The Apollo jumper in the film and The Shining and all that stuff. It's just like a little wink, a nudge maybe, but again, it's proof of nothing.
I mean, but I'm pretty sure in this context, Kubrick was there to do research for his movie. He's getting the experts' opinions, and when we were talking, obviously I meant that they never met to kind of do anything about the moon landings. That maybe I wasn't clear with what I meant, but
no.
So
I haven't watched it back because I don't tend to like watching myself back like most people. But I'll watch it back and I'll see how you worded it. But I'll take your explanation that what you meant, because I'm fully aware of the film and I know that it can be argued. It's not. It's proof of nothing that he faked the moon landings, that he met with them. But I just wanted to clear up that he did actually meet with them, and I hadn't got that wrong.
Well, Stanley Kubrick was such a perfectionist that if he did fake the moon landings, he would have insisted on it being filmed in location, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good line. That's a good line. Yeah. Right. That was my first point anyway, because I wanted to clear it up from last time.
Okay, if I did say that they never met, then no, I was wrong about that. But I was talking in the context of the moon landings.
Yeah. All right. So my first real point is the point that you came to me on and said we need another chat, and it was the rocket trajectory, which I'm convinced is going straight up and straight back down again. And you sent me a lovely little diagram on Facebook showing how it's some corkscrew effect going around the Earth, but I'm still not buying it. Can we put the photo up I've sent?
Yeah. Let me just bring that one up. So it's this one here. Sorry, my computer's being slow because, of course, it is.
See, this is an important point for me, because if we can prove that this rocket is not going to space and it can't be going to space, then it's all over. There's no ISS because you can't take anything up there to it. There's no moon landings, obviously. It's all over. If that rocket is going back into the sea, then there's a serious problem.
Well,
so I mean,
we know it's not going to the sea because, you know, rockets are also launched from Russia, and when they launch in the same direction to the west, there's no sea in the direction they're launching to. But this is what you're seeing is the rocket going up and away from you over the curve of the Earth. Now, if the Earth is curved, then as the rocket goes up and in, it's not going straight up into space. It's going up to get into an orbit so it can go around the Earth. So if you are looking at something going straight away from you that is following a curve that is falling away from you, then the rocket will also look like it's falling away from you. Now, there's other ways that we can tell that it's going into space. And one of the best ways is to look at the exhaust coming out of the rocket, right? I'll get some out 2 secs. So when the rockets are launched, obviously, you know, they're shooting a bunch of exhaust out at the bottom. And that exhaust is contained by the pressure of the atmosphere, right? So it comes out and it goes straight down because the atmosphere is pressing on it. As the rocket rises in altitude, so does the atmosphere's pressure decrease, you know, because there's a gradient of pressure in the atmosphere. It gets less as you go up. And what that means is there's less pressure pushing on the exhaust, and the exhaust expands. Now, how we know it goes into space is because when the pressure is so low, the exhaust is just expanding in all directions until its kinetic energy runs out. And if that's what we see happen with the rockets, and if the rocket was going back into space, then the gases coming out of it wouldn't, if the rocket was just going into the ocean, going up and then down, then the gases coming out the back wouldn't keep expanding. They would expand and then contract. So let me get up a video sec. It's from Wally. Okay. So this is a video of a rocket being launched, and it's actually a video showing it from
they got to build this level, and they measure the drop to the
from multiple locations, right? So it's not just viewed from one location. There's multiple people filming the launch. I wanted to. Oh, where is it? Right, okay, up here. So as we can see, this is it from multiple different directions, and it's going up. And as it goes up and up and up, the exhaust out the back. Now you can see the exhaust, how it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. Before it was just a little line out the back, and now it's got bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it keeps going, that exhaust trail behind it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So at this point, even though it looks like the rocket is heading downwards, we know it's still going up because the pressure exerted on the exhaust is getting less and less and less. And as it keeps going up and up and up, the exhaust gets bigger and bigger and bigger. He zoomed out there because the exhaust is now so big that it's not fitting in the camera, until it gets to the point where they separate. Obviously, the stages separate, and you can see the gases expanding in all directions. And that shows that the rocket is going up and not up and down. Does that make sense?
At what point does it separate?
Well, it depends on the particular mission.
Because when we see the arc, if what you're saying is true, I would expect it to separate at the top of the arc, and then
why would it?
And then what?
Right, but the top of the arc, from your point of view, isn't the highest point of the rocket. It's still going up, but from your point of view, it looks like it's coming down because it's following the curvature of the Earth, which is curving down from your position.
I know, but look. How small has the Earth got to be for that to be the case, for it to be going around? Look at this bit of sticky tape I put on. That's about what we're seeing, surely. We see it on the scale of this globe. That's what we're seeing. That
Maybe
arc I've made a bit of...
Well, no, that it's not. You're not seeing an arc like that. It's going down and following the curve. It's not going back to the Earth, and it's just from the point of view that you're viewing at. And this video shows the rocket trajectory from many different directions, showing that even though it can look like it's going away from you, up and down, it's actually just going straight up. And there's many videos that show the same thing of the rocket doing multiple, from multiple locations, showing the rocket go up, look like it's coming down, but a different view of it at the same time will show that it's still going up. That's what it should look like, is the point. There's no reason why, that's not, that's what we expect a launch into space to look like from a certain position.
I would expect to see it leveling off.
Why would you expect to see it leveling off? Because from your point of view, it is following the curvature of the Earth, which is going down away from you. So the rocket is also, from your point of view, going down away from you, even though it's rising in altitude compared to the Earth. There's no point that you would see it leveling off, because you're looking at it from a different direction. If you're side on, then yeah, there would be a point where it would level off if you could see it go that far. But looking from it behind, it's going to look like a parabolic arc because it's following the curve of the Earth.
But would if it's going around the Earth, wouldn't it be seen all around the Earth?
Well, no, it's too high by then. What do you mean all around the Earth? I mean, it's not like it's going compared to the Earth, it's going really high up. It's still really close to the surface of the Earth, like really quite close in the scale of the Earth. So
you'd see it all around the Earth. You would see it as it's going around this, doing an orbit around the Earth to get up into space.
Yeah,
you'd see it from all locations of the Earth.
Yeah, you can see it from different points. That's the thing. You can look up and track satellites that are up there after they've launched. Wherever you expect to see it from, you are able to see it from that location. There's no position that you wouldn't be able to see it from, that predicts that you can. What we see is exactly what we expect. And, again, the Earth, if the Earth is a globe, right, and you're standing on the globe, then it's curving down away from you, right? So if a rocket is to orbit the Earth, and once it's raised in altitude, it will also have to follow that curve going down away from you. So what's it going to look like? It's going to look like an arc going down away from you. But it's following the curve of the Earth. That's what the curve of the Earth is doing.
At what point do they separate? After how long?
It depends on the mission. Different missions will have different separation points for different payloads. There's no specific point that it separates at. It just depends on the mission. But there's plenty of videos following it going all the way into space and then following the boosters coming back down as well.
The videos don't show it going round the Earth. You're saying it goes round the whole of the Earth.
Well,
the videos don't show that.
But the videos are from one location. Of course, they're not going to show it going around the Earth. You can't see something going around the Earth from one location.
The videos on the rocket that you showed me.
Which one? The ones I just showed you?
No. In the last debate, you showed me I said I want to see a continuous journey from Earth to the space station. You showed me a rocket launch, but it only went up, and then you saw the globe. You're saying it's going around the whole of the Earth.
Well, yeah, it would take a long. It would take a. I'm not saying it would. What? No, I'm just saying that's the trajectory that it follows. It follows the curve of the Earth. But to do an entire orbit still takes quite a while. You're not going to be able to just see it go wee. Even at 17,000 miles an hour, it still takes like 45 minutes to orbit the Earth.
90 minutes.
90 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever it is.
The ISS takes 90 minutes to orbit the Earth.
There you go. Even at 17,000 miles an hour, it still takes 90 minutes to orbit the Earth. So there's no reason to expect from a video from a rocket to see it orbiting the Earth unless that rocket orbited the entire Earth and you watched it for 90 minutes.
That's the video I want to see.
Well,
if you want to prove it, if NASA or yourself want to prove it, I want
NASA
to see
don't care about proving
video.
anything. Yeah, that's the thing though. NASA don't care about proving anything. They don't care that some people don't believe what they do. That's not their job. Is to just do what they're told by the government. They have no burden to prove anything to anybody.
They don't, but it would shut a few people up, wouldn't you? And human nature dictates that that's what would happen. So over the last 10 years, they would do something to shut us up. I mean, the Indians...
There's been plenty of stuff, though. I mean, they've had 24-hour... In fact, there still is 24-hour live streams from space looking at the Earth. There was one on DirecTV for over a decade that you could watch and see the Earth orbiting in space. And, it was there. And we show these things all the time. You can go to Himawari right now and look at an image that was taken in the last 7 minutes. But you guys will just say it's fake. We will show you these videos, but you will just dismiss them.
Well, they all look different. Every time you see the Earth, it's different coloured.
Different cameras pick up different wavelengths of light.
The Earth is the Earth.
No. Different cameras pick up different wavelengths of light. You take a picture of me with one camera, I'll have quite pale skin. You take a picture of me with a different camera, I'll have olive skin. Different cameras pick up different things. Specifically, when there's cameras in space that are lined with infrared imagery to be able to pick up what's on the infrared spectrum. And of course that image is going to look different from the others because it's displaying the infrared that we can't actually see. It will only look exactly the same if exactly the same camera is used from exactly the same location. There's no reason to think that every picture would look exactly the same unless it's the exact same conditions.
Yeah, there would be some truth in that. What about the size of the continents changing?
That's just to do with how close the summit is. Right, so I've got an actual picture here to show that. Where is it? Please say I've got it saved.
Oh, I've got messages calling me a clown already. Nice one.
Guys, don't be mean to him. Right, so...
doesn't matter. I can take it, Craig. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so this is a picture of a globe, right? And you can see how Africa there appears to take up the majority of the globe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now here is an image of the exact same globe, just with a slightly different lens and from a different distance away. Now Africa doesn't take up as much as the globe. Has the size of Africa physically changed? No. All that's changed is the amount of the globe that the camera can see due to its position and lens. This is the exact same globe with the exact same camera, just taken from this one here, 10 inches away from the globe with a 10mm lens, and this one taken at 15 to 18 feet away from the globe with a 315mm lens. The globe didn't change. The size of the continents didn't change. The only thing that changed was the position of the camera.
It doesn't look like the same ball, does it?
No, but it is.
Well, Michael Toon does something similar with a football. I see.
Yeah. So does that answer that question, why the continents can appear to change size?
Well, of course, it would depend what camera distance we're talking from each photograph, of course. It would be technical information on that one.
Yeah, well, there's some pictures where, the satellite is really close to the Earth, and you would see an image like this, because this is just 10 inches away, right? But then if we go to a camera that's 1,000,000 miles away from Earth, like the DSCOVR satellite or something, you're going to see this instead. It's simply to do with how far away it is and how much of the globe the lens can see at the time.
They all look the same, though. They look like they're from a similar distance, not like the two you've just showed me, which clearly is closer.
Well, of course they're going to look like this from the same distance when they're cropped. I mean, you can crop an image. I mean, obviously, these are one is 10 inches and one is 18 feet away. But they look like they were taken at the same distance because the one that's 15 to 18 feet away has been cropped in. That's all it is.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It would still rely on the technical data from how far away the picture was taken.
All you got to do is look up that data from any of the pictures that you see, and you will find that ones that show more of the continent there were taken closer up. It's as simple as that.
All right, this would be a good time to put on the 1 million mile photograph then.
Right, which one?
The Pink Floyd one, Dark Side of the Moon.
Right, let me get this up. That's what she said. Wait, why would she say that? No. Okay.
These days, mate. These days, you never know, do you?
Right, so, yeah, this is a lovely image. I believe this was actually taken from the DSCOVR satellite of the moon passing the sun, passing the Earth with the sun directly behind it. So what's the problem here?
The problem is the dark side of the moon is still dark.
What do you mean the dark side of the moon is still dark? What would you think is the dark side of the moon here?
Well, the sun would be obviously illuminating that side of the moon.
So you're saying that this here is dark?
That is not the moon we see reflecting sunlight from Earth, is it?
That's because it's from out in space, with a different camera that's set up to, take the details of the Earth, so the exposure levels are really low, which means that the moon will not look like it's bright. If you were to have a camera take this image and show the moon as bright as we see it when we look at it with our eyes, you would have no detail in the picture behind it. This is simply a change in exposure levels so that there's lots of detail available.
How is there so much detail from 1 million miles away?
Really
on
good
the Earth.
I mean, it's not like you could zoom in and see people there.
No,
but it's the exact amount of detail you would expect from the camera at that position. It's a really good camera. Yeah, it's not like they've just stuck a GoPro on there. It's a camera specifically designed to do things like this.
NASA openly admit that they stitch these things together. The CGI element of it.
Well, no, that's only one picture. You're talking about the image by Robert Simmons, right? The blue marble.
Robert.
Yeah.
Robert Simmons. Yeah.
That's one image he's talking about, just one, not lots.
Why?
He is talking about one image, right? And he's talking about specifically the 2012 blue marble that was the iPhone 7 home screen. That particular image is made up of lots of images from satellites being really close to the Earth, right? And it has way more detail than this image here. Way more detail. Now, of course, he had to put that together with Photoshop because the cameras were too close to the Earth to capture the entire thing. That's it. This, however, this is not stitched together. This is one image. Well, actually, this is a bunch of images stacked on top of each other just from like several minutes apart to get a really clear image. And that's why at the side of the moon there on the right, you see that slight blurring, because the moon has actually shifted in position during the time the first and the last picture were taken. It's called stacking. It's how astrophotography is done. But this is just one shot in general. It's not a bunch of shots like strips stuck together. Does that make sense?
But why would they need to do that even once when you can take pictures of the Earth? Why would they need to stitch it together?
Because they wanted one that was of extreme close-up detail. That's it. They had some satellites that were orbiting close enough that it got strips of images of the Earth as it went past it. And to get a lot of detail and to make a really pretty picture, they stitched those together. That's all it was, to make a pretty picture. That's it.
And what about the stars? Again, there's never any stars. You talk about these amazing cameras, but they can't pick up the stars.
Well, they can pick up the stars. But as I explained, right, if this was an image that was set to have the moon visible the way we see it with our naked eyes on Earth, and the moon was really bright, there would be no detail in the Earth. Now, to see the stars behind, we would have to lower the exposure even more. We would have to change it more and more and more. And it would make all the rest of the detail wash out. You know, the lightness of the stars has been taken away the same way as the lightness with the moon. If we change the exposure so that the Earth was just a bright blur, there was lots of light coming into the camera, then we'd be able to see the stars. But this is set up to capture detail, not a lot of light. That's all it is. There's many pictures of space where you can see the stars, because the cameras are set up to do that. But you can't have both. You cannot have an image with this amount of detail also with the stars in the background, because the camera cannot pick up both at the same time.
What? It's picking up the light of the Earth, though. I don't understand why it can't pick up the light of the moon when it can pick up the light of the Earth.
It is picking up the light of the moon.
It's a million miles away.
Sorry, it is picking up the light of the moon. That's why you can see the moon. If it wasn't picking up the light, then you wouldn't see the moon. All it's done is it's turned the exposure down so it doesn't look as bright. That's it.
But it's not just a little bit duller than normal. It's just completely. It's dead. Yeah. It's just dead. It's grey and dead.
The moon for a particular reason. Illuminary. It's done that. They've changed the exposure so it looks like that, so that you can get the detail of the Earth. If the moon was brighter, you wouldn't have the detail of the Earth. It's as simple as that. You can do this with the pictures yourself. You can get them and you can change the exposure until things that are really bright look grey. That's all that's happened here. They've changed the exposure so that we get the detail of the Earth. Simple.
What about when they're actually on the moon? It's still as dull as ditch water. It's still grey when they're on it from the moon landings photos. So I've sent you a photo of that as well. Astronaut on the moon photo. Again, it's
right. This one here. Oops.
And it's not just photographs. We've got video footage of the moon looking just as dull and grey.
So
how is that possible that can light an alleyway back on Earth?
Well, this is very simple.
In the night.
Yeah, this one's really simple explanation, Al. Okay, when you look at the moon at night, you're seeing the entire moon and all of the light being reflected off of it. All right. In this image here, you're not seeing the whole moon. You are seeing a tiny bit of the moon that is in this photograph's field of view. So the amount of light being reflected off of it will be proportional to the size of it, which means that it's a lot less light than seeing the entire moon at once.
Well, we don't see the entire Earth when we take photographs of Earth on a sunny day, and you take a picture of the grass or the tarmac, and it's lit up by the sun, and as soon as the clouds come, it goes dull again.
But it is lit up by the sun. That's why you can see it. There's areas that are
not
light.
Buying that.
This is the exact amount we expect, though. You can see it because it's lit up by the sun. If there was no light there, then you wouldn't be able to see anything. The fact that you're seeing something dark here means there's a light source.
It goes dark in the background even. It doesn't take long for it to get really dark again. You'd expect the whole thing to be lit up. You talk about what we'd expect. Would you? Everything we expect, we don't get. And there's always an explanation
everything we expect, we do get. We expect everything that we see is what we expect here. In this picture, also, there could be another light source. You know, what we're seeing here is exactly what we expect to see. The focus is on an area here, so it's going to be picking up the light of that area. The rest of the area isn't getting picked up as much. There's no reason to expect to see a massive bright surface of the moon when we're only seeing a tiny portion of the moon. We're not seeing the entire moon at once with all of the light. It's as simple as that. In fact, I could even take you through the maths. That you can do the maths for it to calculate the amount of light that you would be able to see based on the inverse square law, and it actually works out that this is what we would expect when you do the actual maths. It's very complicated and would take a while, and I'd probably have to get PhD Tony on to help me.
Who's PhD Tony when he's at home?
He's a Tony with a PhD. He's the only real man in the room. And he works, his actual job is working with satellites and gravity. That's what he gets paid for.
Okay.
I mean, so quick question, right? If sorry. If SpaceNet isn't real and there's no satellites, why does PhD Tony get paid to do a job with satellites and gravity?
It would be the same as why would an astronaut get paid to fake going to the moon? People get paid to lie.
But he's
not. I don't want to accuse
Mm-hmm.
people personally, But people get paid to lie in this world. You sign confidentiality agreements when you go up the levels that work,
So
and
you would
all
have
of a
to
sudden
be
it gets very
accusing-
serious.
So, I mean,
That's what I would imagine.
so you would have to be at this point accusing PhD Tony of being a liar, because his job, the thing that he gets paid to physically do, involves satellites and gravity. I mean, you know, that he goes to work each day and does these things. And he, for $5 Australian, asks, can you ask Al where the satellite data that I analyze comes from? So where is that data that he analyzes actually coming from?
It could come from anywhere. Who's asking this?
That's PhD Tony. He's asked you personally.
He's actually asking
where
me
the
personally.
satellite data he analyzes comes from.
It could come from anywhere. He wouldn't know. It could just be prepared for him.
They can literally see where it's coming from. You know, they can detect the position of where the data is coming from.
Would it not be a satellite on a balloon then?
No, because they can see it's further up than balloons are able to be.
Why do they even exist, satellite balloons?
Because they do a specific job that other satellites in space can't. You
What
can't have a
job's that?
satellite in space inside of a cloud registering the data inside of that cloud. That's what those balloons are for. Those balloons are to carry weather monitoring satellites that will literally sit in a weather system and gather the data from things that are happening to that thing that's on the balloon. Satellites can't do that because they're in space. So it's just a specific tool for a specific job.
7,700 satellites in space.
There's probably more than that, actually. Way more now.
That's the figure I got when I looked into it. But I mean, what 7,000? What are all them doing? Considering that most of our data is undersea cables, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah, well, no one has ever said that all internet comes from space, but there's a lot of things that are up there. A lot of the majority of the satellites up there are just monitoring stuff. They're looking at the gravitational field of the Earth. They're monitoring tide activity. They're monitoring sea levels. They're monitoring ice shelf movements. They're
sea levels. They're monitoring sea levels from space.
Yeah,
really?
Yes, they're doing things like having military communications go through them. Did you know, for instance, that the military satellite communication system is called Skynet, which always blows my fucking mind. But yeah, there's lots of satellites up there doing different things, and you know, I don't know exactly what all of them are doing. There's a large portion of them now providing us internet from space, SpaceX, and you know, Starlink and that. But the satellites that are there to usually monitor things or to look out at space and take pictures, or you know, literally there's satellites up there that are up there just to monitor the position of bushfires on Earth, for instance.
Sky Sports.
Sky TV comes from space, yeah.
No interruption to any Premier League match in 30 odd years. No problems whatsoever. Just
why would there be? It's a very clear shot into space. There's nothing in the way.
You always get technical problems.
And are you absolutely sure 100% that Sky TV has never had any interruptions?
I don't think so.
Because I can guarantee you they have. In fact, I remember lodging a complaint about Sky One not working when I had Sky TV.
I don't think that's not necessarily to do with the satellite, though, is it?
Why not?
It's all done on
from
Earth.
the satellites. All Sky TV, apart from the new Q stuff, but you know, normally Sky TV comes from satellites. So when you had your Sky box and it's plugged in, that is getting all of its information from the dish that is on the outside of your house pointing into space. And that's the reason why every dish will always point in the exact same direction. And at the equator, all the dishes point directly up.
I would not accept that you even need to have a satellite in space to have Sky TV all over the world. I wouldn't even say it's necessary at all. We've got all the equipment to do it on Earth.
It was, at the time, cheaper to do it that way to provide lots of people with information from one thing. It was a financially efficient way to provide entertainment to the masses.
there's not any realistic photographs even of a satellite in space, considering there's 7,000 of them that all can all
There's
take
lots
photographs.
of realistic photos of satellites in space. I mean, how can you just categorically say that? Have you looked at every single photo of every satellite in space ever?
I doubt I have, no. But
Well, then you
but
can't.
what you find,
to be fair,
what you
then
find
Al,
when you
that's not
search-
something you can say, is it?
when you what you find when you search is garbage. It's clearly CGI. It's not even a question.
Well, that's
CGI.
why you don't just search on Google and look at the images. Google is this. I don't think a lot of people understand what Google does. Google isn't an answers machine. It's just a search engine. It will show you things based on the words that you type. That's it. And there is a lot of CGI images of satellites in space, but that doesn't mean there isn't real ones.
But why would there even be images of satellites in space as CGI? You wouldn't need
Why
it.
would there not be?
Just common sense.
Why would there not be? You want to quickly display an image of something, you knock up a CGI image of a satellite.
Because there'd be thousands of real ones, Craig.
Yeah,
Common
well,
sense,
what
mate. Just
if
logic.
you wanted to show people what your satellite's going to look like in space, but it isn't in space yet? What do? You make a mock-up image of it. Seriously, saying because CGI images exist, therefore satellites don't, is not... It doesn't logically follow. There's CGI images of cars, but cars still exist. There's CGI images of me, for God's sakes, and I still exist. In fact, there's a scary amount of CGI images of me.
Find some now. Find some good ones now. Satellite in space.
Why don't you? I mean, I can find loads, and like I could show you a picture of the ISS quite clearly. That's a satellite in space, and you'll just dismiss it. So what does it matter? The fact is, you have made a categorical claim that all images of satellites in space are CGI, but that's not true. And it's not something you could substantiate because you've not seen every image of every satellite in space.
But the 7,000, I'd expect to see thousands of images. And I don't. I can't find them.
There's lots. Just saying they're not there doesn't mean they're not there. If you look, you will find them. I've displayed so many times. I don't get this line of reasoning. They are there.
Yeah, but you've got
if you look.
You've got to understand, I'm not just saying it on this point. I know I don't live on a globe, so I know they don't bloody exist. So now we've chased up, well, are there photos of them? All we find is CGI.
But it's not all you find is CGI.
Yeah, some look photoshopped.
Well, yeah, you're just claiming they're photoshopped.
Some look real, but they're not real. They're photoshopped. Haven't we got an app now that we can put things through Photoshop and it will tell us whether it's photoshopped or not?
Well, Photoshop themselves do that.
Because people have put in images from the moon landings where the Earth is clearly been pasted in. You can tell it is. You must have seen that. You take down the contrast on your computer screen and you can see a box around the Earth.
Yeah, that's not a way to... but that's usually just JPEG compression. That is not a way to do photo forensics analysis. I just want to... this took me about 3.5 seconds of searching to find. So let me just put this up for you.
Oh, is it the one I've seen before?
Oh, so you have seen images of satellites in space before, and...
Yeah, but it just looks phony photoshopped and the Earth looks phony photoshopped in the background.
Here we go. Satellite in space. That literally took 3 seconds of searching to find. It was one of the first images.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
So can you retract your statement that there's only CGI images? Because that's not CGI. That's a photo of a satellite in space.
No, I said all I can seem to find is CGI images. I have seen some Photoshop ones. That's what I said.
And how do you know they're Photoshop?
I don't know, do I? That's being honest. I don't know that they're photoshopped. I'm making an assumption based on I don't live on a globe, Craig.
But we do live on a globe. I categorically proved that last night in my debate with Caleb by showing the literal measurements of the globe and the measurements of the rotation of the Earth. You can't have those things if we're not on a globe that's rotating.
You can't have an argument that goes for 10 years if you've got that sort of proof, my friend.
Well, we can because, unfortunately, as Einstein once said, the average person isn't very smart, and you've got to remember that half of the world is dumber than that. You know, the fact is that I will show categorical proof of a thing over and over and over, and it will just get dismissed. That's why this argument still goes on, because nuh-uh is what happens when I show evidence. I just showed you an image of a satellite in space when you said that there wasn't any to find. It was literally one of the first ones that come up when you search images of satellites in space. You know, your argument doesn't follow, it doesn't work. And to just say, well, I know it's not true because we live on a globe, is kind of dishonest when there's zero evidence to suggest that the Earth is flat.
There's not zero evidence because we have the biggest evidence, which is water. We're not going to get into that now, but to say there's zero evidence is not true at all.
Water, yeah, but just to be clear, water is just matter that does what it's told to by forces acting on it. It doesn't have special physics, and gravity creates a force on water that holds it to the Earth. So water in no way shows that the Earth is flat. In fact, water matches the predictions of Earth and gravity.
Right, what have we got next? Felix Baumgartner.
What about him?
Space jump. Yeah. Are you an advocate that this guy jumped from the edge of space?
Well, he jumped from extremely high up, yes.
And do you know how fast he was supposed to have travelled on his way down?
Really fast. Lots of miles an hour.
That's very technical for you. 843 miles an hour.
Yep, cool.
So I'm gonna make another assumption here. I don't think the human body is capable of that.
Why?
Because it's too much force on the body to travel
force?
At 800 miles an hour.
What force specifically are you talking about?
Oh, the down force going down, the G force.
But he's only under 1G.
He's only under what?
He's only under 1G, the gravitational force of Earth. He's just accelerating. He's accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's it. The only reason he traveled that fast was because when he first jumped, there was no atmosphere to slow him down. He was in a suit designed to protect him in that environment. So there's absolutely no reason. There's you're saying the forces involved in the downforce, but that doesn't make sense. The only force involved is the gravitational force acting on his mass.
When they travel in an aeroplane at that sort of speed, they get thrust back into their seat.
Only when they do a maneuver, like do a loop or something. You can be traveling 900 miles an hour. You can travel 1,200 miles an hour in a Concorde and you're not being thrust into the back of your seat. However, if that Concorde all of a sudden did a loop-the-loop, everyone in that Concorde would experience a lot of G's from the acceleration of that loop. But when you're just going in a straight line, you're not. There's no acceleration being applied, and the only acceleration being applied to Felix during his fall from the balloon to the Earth is the 1G of the acceleration of Earth.
Okay, can we get the photograph up?
Yeah.
A minute. Cheers.
Do-do-do-do.
When you're in an aeroplane, you've got a protective layer around you. The aeroplane. But this guy was just doing it free fall.
Felix had a big suit around him, doing the same thing as an aeroplane.
I don't think the body would be able to take that personally.
Why not? It's inside something that's protecting it. Again, what forces are you talking about? There's 1G. That's it.
The force of travelling at 800 miles an hour.
And what force is that? The speed doesn't make the force. The force that's being applied to him would be his mass, which let's say is 110 kilograms, times his acceleration, which is 9.8 meters per second squared. If we say that's the case, then his force applied is about 1,100 newtons. That's it. That's not a lot.
So, are you suggesting that that's the real curve of the Earth?
Well, no, that's clearly a fisheye lens.
So you at least concede that?
Yeah, I mean, no one's ever said that it's not a fisheye lens. That is a fisheye lens put there to get a pretty picture.
Well,
With a
they never
fisheye lens,
say
you
that,
get
though, do they? They just leave it open to suggestion.
No, they don't. They actually gave the details of every camera used. If you look
Where
on,
did they give you that?
If you look on redbull.com, at this mission, they literally give the details of every single camera in that pod. And they never hid the fact that it was fisheye. That, you know, this wasn't put up there to prove the curvature of the Earth. You know, so I don't understand what your point is.
Well, the majority of the people seeing that would not go to the Red Bull website and see it. They leave it open to suggestion that he's jumping from that high and that's the curve of the Earth. It's all programming. It's all programming to the mind.
Well, no, it's just a pretty picture. That's it. And it's not my fault that people don't do research. Anyone that wanted to see if that was the curve of the Earth would look into it. There's no programming involved. This is just a large field of view picture of a guy jumping from really high up. Which isn't even that special because the record's been broken.
Because that's clearly Arizona beneath him. I mean, you know.
Is it? Okay then. Why would that not be Arizona below him? What do you mean?
Well, the area that's covered is just literally Arizona. It's not the globe Earth, is it?
Yeah,
that's what they left.
No one said it was the whole globe Earth. You know, Red Bull didn't do this to fool anyone. They did it because it's a cool thing. That's it. And again, you can find all the details of all the equipment used if you just look for it.
So you're suggesting he can travel at 800 miles an hour. So what about the astronauts traveling at 17,000 miles an hour on a spacewalk? How's that possible?
Why wouldn't it be possible?
Because they're outside of the space station and that's traveling at 17,000 miles an hour. Why would they be traveling with it?
Why wouldn't they? Right, so they're inside the space station, right? Then they've got that momentum of the space station. They go out the airlock. They don't lose that momentum. There's a physical principle called the conservation of momentum. So when the astronaut steps out of the ISS through the airlock, they've still got that momentum of going that 17,000 miles an hour. That hasn't disappeared. For that to disappear, there would need to be a force acting in the opposite direction. So there's no reason why the astronaut wouldn't just keep going the same speed as the ISS. It's not like there's air or something up there to cause a resistance to push them away.
Oh, so what about the scientists that say the Earth's atmosphere extends beyond the moon? Another thing I've sent you.
Yeah. So, have you ever read that actual paper and what it says?
Yeah, there's wisps. There's wisps of the Earth's atmosphere.
No, there's not wisps.
Extending.
There's a diffuse cloud of hydrogen, which equates to about half a hydrogen atom per cubic meter. That's it. And this is just parts of the extended exosphere that, you know, that when they looked at the data from a mission from in the 90s, they discovered that there was this diffuse cloud of hydrogen. It's not like it's in our atmosphere with wind all around it. It's still in a practical vacuum. It's just there is, you know, let's say this here is 1 cubic meter, right? So if within that 1 cubic meter, there is about half an atom of hydrogen. So you need 2 cubic meters of space to put 1 hydrogen atom in. That's not in the atmosphere.
So when they say the space station's traveling at 17,500 miles an hour,
yeah,
it says there's absolutely no resistance because it's just an impossibility if there was any resistance.
Yeah, there's no air up there to cause resistance. I mean, it still has to adjust its heading every now and then because of certain things, but there's, you know, it's in a 10 to the negative 11 torr vacuum.
It's just pure science fiction, mate. 17,000 miles an hour.
Why is it science fiction? It's recorded. So a guy called Red's Rhetoric and a guy called Astronomy Live took it upon themselves to test the claim, right? And they tested it by using simple parallax measurements. They knew when, from the place they were, the ISS would go in front of the moon from their position, right? So they set up 2 cameras about a mile apart, and at the same time recorded the ISS transiting the moon. And then using the known distance to the moon of 250,000 miles and the difference in the position of the moon that they both recorded, they were able to calculate using parallax angles the position of the ISS, i.e. the altitude, how high up it is, the size of the ISS, and how fast the ISS were going. And all of the things they calculated purely from their observations, with no help from NASA or anything, just from their observations, just so happened to match exactly what NASA tell us. So the fact that it can be verified by anybody that wants to actually go and do it shows that it is what we say it is.
You can't verify that that was the space station, though.
Well, of course you can. They physically looked at it and recorded it.
You don't know what it was that you don't know what it is that passes. They've got the technology to put anything up there in Earth's atmosphere, in the sky.
No, but it's not in Earth's atmosphere because they did the calculations based on where it was, looking at it based on it passing in front of the moon. They actually calculated the position of it, and it was not in Earth's atmosphere. It was several hundred miles up. And they didn't get the information from NASA or anything. They calculated this themselves from their own observations of it.
And did Jeranism do the same thing?
Well, no, Jeranism just watched it pass in front of the moon. Interestingly, Jeranism recently conceded that there is definitely big gas balls in space with moons around them after watching the live stream of Jupiter and its moons the other day. Jeranism is convinced that, yes, there is a big ball there with moons going around it. So, good old Jeranism.
Moons or just things you can see?
Moons. They're clearly moons orbiting something. Little things orbiting something are called moons.
No, you can't. You just can't science from here.
Well, of course you can.
You can't tell what they are.
Well,
you can't tell what they are.
You can literally look at them and see, right, if little things are orbiting a big thing, that's called moons. That's just what it is. And that's what
science tells us.
No, it's not just what science tells us, it's what reality tells us. That's what it is. Little things orbiting a big things is moons.
We don't know what the stars or the planets are. They're lights in the sky, like you say, pretty pictures.
We've sent robots to several of the planets in our solar system. We know what they are.
Sure. Well, you know I don't believe that.
Belief is irrelevant. Incredulity doesn't stop things being reality. You say that you don't believe it, but you've got no reason to not believe it other than the fact that you don't want to believe it because you think the Earth is flat.
No, I've got plenty of reasons to believe it because the people that run this world don't tell us the truth about our reality because it gives them power. I've got plenty of reason to believe they're lying.
What evidence do you have that they do that?
If this is all a lie, globe, Earth, evolution, space travel, distant stars, it's going to be very well protected. It's 7 billion people that are being fooled here. It's going to be very well protected. But you can check it yourself out.
The thing is, you can check yourself, and that's what we do. I have personally, myself, measured the rotation of the Earth. I did that myself. No, I'm not looking at anyone else's data. I myself physically measured the rotation of the Earth. I myself physically measured the force created by gravity. I myself physically confirmed the measurements of the curve of the Earth. I have done that. I checked to see if these things are true. So I'm not being fooled. I listened to what was told. I didn't believe it. I checked to see if it was true. Turns out when I checked, it is true.
What did you do to for the rotation of the Earth? Sorry,
I use a Foucault's pendulum that I created.
A pendulum?
Yeah, I used a Foucault's pendulum experiment.
I mean, I've heard of that. Yeah, that's something they did years ago, isn't it? And had set up somewhere publicly.
Well, originally, it was done in 1870-something by French physicist named Foucault. But basically, it is a way to confirm if the Earth is rotating based on the predictions of a rotating body. If the Earth is rotating, then a pendulum swinging from a pivot point will maintain its swing relative to the axis of Earth's rotation. And you can test if this is true. The way you can test if it's true is by doing a pendulum at different latitudes on Earth, which would elicit a different amount of force due to Coriolis. And what you find, and what I did, was I used the data that I gathered to calculate my position on Earth. And I got my latitude right. Just from the data of the drift of a swinging pendulum, I calculated where I was on Earth, which matches the physical parameters of a rotating Earth. I tested the claim. If the Earth is rotating, we expect this to happen. Is this happening? Yes, it's happening. That failed to falsify that the Earth was rotating. And this is an experiment that is done by every single physics undergraduate in the world. It's not a hard thing to do. It's very easy to confirm that the Earth is rotating. So easy to confirm that the Earth is rotating that
if the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift.
How much of a drift, Bob?
A 15 degree per hour drift.
Thanks, Bob. Rest in peace, Bob. Thank you very much. Your contributions to science are very much appreciated. So yeah, it's very easy to measure the rotation of the Earth. You don't have to spend $20,000. You can just build a mechanical gyroscope. So after Bob, the flat earther, did that and then denied the results, they hired someone called Stephen P. to check, right? What they had there was an interferometric gyroscope using laser light and stuff, and they didn't trust it because of heavenly energies or something. So they decided to get a physical mechanical gyroscope made. And they hired a guy called Stephen P. to do that. And they figured the physical mechanical gyroscope, that would not pick up the rotation of the Earth. Can you guess what happened when Stephen P. made a physical mechanical gyroscope? Can you guess what it picked up?
I think you're going to say the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah, exactly as we predict. And he tested it over and over and over and over. And every time he tested it under every condition, it measured the rotation of the Earth. Exactly as we predict. Bob wasn't happy about this. Bob tried to hide this. Bob got the videos deleted, but I kept the video.
And how do you know what it's recording though, Craig? How do you know what it's recording?
Because you make a prediction and then you design an experiment to test that prediction. A gyroscope maintains its position in 3D space. That means if it's accurate enough and it's on something that it is moving, it will maintain its original position compared to that thing that's moving. So if you spin up a gyroscope like this on Earth and you wait, the gyroscope will maintain its original position relative to the distant stars of the universe over time. So over time, from your position looking at it, it will change its position, which is what we exactly expect to happen on a rotating globe. And lo and behold, it not only shows rotation, but it shows rotation at the exact amount that we expect. Like, spot on. This thing was so accurate, like to several decimal figures. It was one of the, it's actually a beautiful piece of equipment this guy has built. But it does exactly what it is designed to do and measured the Earth's rotation.
Why would these pieces of kit be created in 2000 and in the 2000s?
Well, that was created to test the claim by flat earthers.
And what was the thing that Bob used?
An interferometric fiber optic gyroscope, which is a similar thing in concept, but uses laser lights and the movement of something underneath the light to test rotation. It's just a different kind of gyroscope.
but that hasn't been created to test the rotation of the Earth. The one he used.
Well, no, it's not designed specifically to do that, but it can do that, because if the Earth is rotating, then that gyroscope, when it's turned on, will pick up that 15 degree per hour drift, right? So,
what's it been designed for, though, in the first place, is what I'm asking.
Well, to detect acceleration. There's usually 3 of them on planes. Let me bring up... A
gyroscope on a plane shows that it's flying level.
No, it really doesn't. That's not how gyroscopes work on a plane. Who told you that?
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do. They have a gyroscope so they know they're staying level when they're up there.
No, they have a
cruising height.
Well, yeah, the gyroscope will give them reference, and level is compared to the pull of gravity on Earth.
Well, that's the excuse that gravity is making a plane go around the curve of the Earth.
Well, that's not an excuse. That's what happens. Because gravity is always pulling down, right? I mean, incredulity and laughing doesn't stop things being a fact, right? So I'll show you this video quickly, which explains how the gyroscopes work.
Oh, time for
Come on.
fag.
Right, play.
Aircraft are pretty common this day and age. There are tens of thousands of commercial aircraft that move people around the globe every day. How do their pilots know which way to go? If they're over land, they can simply look out the window and follow landmarks. But the problem gets significantly harder if they're flying at night or over water. Let's suppose that you want to pet some kangaroos and want to make the 8,000-mile flight from California to Sydney. How do you make sure you stay on track? You might use a compass, but some cockpits have magnetic fields that would cause your heading to stray by 10 degrees. If you were using just a compass, you might not find your destination. GPS is another option, but it might not be reliable enough for all applications. GPS signals can sometimes be jammed or destroyed altogether. You'd probably want a backup if you were flying over the Pacific. Most modern aircraft come with inertial navigation systems with high-performance gyroscopes. To estimate how sensitive these rotation sensors have to be, we can imagine an aircraft moving along towards its destination, but having some trajectory error along the way. Over time, the gyroscope will have some error, which will build up to an angular misalignment error of theta. For a constant bias error in the measured rotation, let's call it delta omega, the trajectory error will grow quadratically. Our optic gyroscope consists of a coil of fiber. When you input light into it, half of the field goes clockwise and the other half goes counterclockwise. In the absence of rotation, both fields take the same amount of time to propagate. However, if we apply rotation to the coil while the fields are traveling through it, one of the fields will see a shorter path than the other one and will emerge first. This will cause a phase shift.
So that's it, right? So as it fires 2 beams of light, so each of these people represent beams of light, okay? And they travel around the apparatus, right? So one goes this way and one goes this way, right? And if they meet in the middle at exactly the same time that they've taken to go around the path, then it will show that there's no rotation. But if the entire apparatus is moving like this, that means that one of the paths the light has to take has become longer than the other one, which means the light will take longer to go around that path. Which means that when they meet at the other end, they're now out of phase and it measures a rotation. That is what Bob used to measure the rotation of the Earth, okay? So they're designed to help aircraft, in inertial navigation, but they can quite easily show that the Earth is rotating and in fact are reliant on that for the way that they work. So yeah, measuring the Earth's rotation is not a problem. Been done lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots.
For how long?
For centuries.
How long have they been doing that? With a gyroscope, I mean.
Well, with inertial navigation systems, as long as we've had modern aircraft.
Because they wouldn't need to create these things if they know that the Earth is rotating and it's a fact. They wouldn't need to create these instruments to prove it.
So they were created to aid in navigation. If the Earth is rotating, it will elicit certain responses to the equipment, which they can use as a reference for when they're navigating. So, just saying, oh, if the Earth was rotating, we wouldn't need to measure the things. Of course we need to measure to be able to, navigate and stuff. Wowzers, I just noticed I've gained 251 members during this stream. You guys are insane. Thank you.
What about other forces that are not accepted, maybe acting on this gyroscope, like electromagnetism and stuff like that? How do you know that it's a force?
Well, you can measure electromagnetism and to see if it's there, and it's not. Also, you can
We live in an electromagnetic matrix, Greg. So,
well, just stick yourself.
There's no electromagnetism there.
No, I'm not saying that, but stick yourself in a Faraday cage. Kind of gets rid of that.
In a what?
A Faraday cage, something that blocks out electromagnetic radiation.
Oh, well, I've never heard of one of them. So.
Ah, right, okay, but it exists, whether you've heard of it or not. So, what else we got?
What else have I got? Rockets in. I should have mentioned this earlier when we were talking about rockets. It's rockets in space, no atmosphere. What are they thrusting against? What are they directing themselves against if there's no atmosphere whatsoever?
Rockets don't push off atmosphere. That's not how they fly.
Well, they do at the start.
No, they
obviously.
don't. No, they don't. That's not how rockets fly. They don't push off of anything. Same as jet engines. They don't push off of anything. Well, they do push off of something. The combustion chamber of the thing that it's in, right? So it's simple. You've got a big container that they shoot these liquids into that explode, right? That creates a force on the inside of that container. They put a nozzle at one end and it shoots stuff out that end. Newton's law dictates that if there's a force going that way, there's an opposite force going that way, which is obviously being exerted on the inside of the combustion chamber. Nothing to do with the atmosphere. And in fact, when you use the rocket equation, it shows that rockets are much, much more efficient in a vacuum. Same as jet engines. Jet engines don't push off of anything. They don't push off the atmosphere. They push off the internal combustion of the jet engine.
And what about steering?
What about steering?
You've got to be able to steer something, and you can't do that in no atmosphere.
Why can't you?
Because there's nothing to steer off. There's nothing to push against.
You don't need anything to push off of. You just exert a force in one direction and it makes a force in the other direction. That's it. It's like if you were in space and a grenade exploded next to you, you'd be pushed away from it. It's exactly the same. If you're in space and you're in a rocket and you have a jet of air pushing one direction, you go the other way. It's Newton's law. An equal and opposite force.
What is steering them though? What's pushing these rockets one way or another to get to where they want to go?
Well, they would usually line it up with a particular trajectory, and then they would have little boosters on the side that can alter that trajectory as it goes.
Right, they've got to chase the ISS though. The ISS is traveling at 17,000 miles an hour apparently. The rocket to dock with it has got to very accurately dock with it at 17,000 miles an hour. How does it catch up with it?
You start going 17,000 miles an hour.
How does it slow down?
It doesn't slow down. It keeps going 17,000 miles an hour.
It's got to catch up with it.
Yeah, so it accelerates until it gets to 17,000 miles an hour. Then it stops accelerating and keeps going at 17,000 miles an hour, which is the same speed as the ISS. So relative to each other, there's no movement.
It's pure science fiction, mate.
Relative motion is not science fiction. Why would you say that relative motion? It's like if you got two trucks going down the motorway, right, with flatbeds on the back, and both of these trucks are going 70 miles an hour. Well, one was going 70 miles an hour, and one wasn't moving to start with, right? So truck B has to catch up with truck A. So truck B starts accelerating hard, goes up to 80 miles an hour, catches up with the other truck that was going 70 miles an hour, now stops accelerating, matches the speed, moves closer, and someone standing on the flatbed of one would just have to make one forward step to go onto the flatbed of the other. For that person on truck B, There is no relative motion compared to truck A. It's exactly the same with the ISS and rockets. They start going that speed by accelerating and going that speed, match the ISS. Once they're going that speed, there's nothing to stop them going that speed. So they just stay going that speed, which relative to the ISS is 0 miles an hour, because all motion is relative.
It's a ridiculous speed. If they're going to lie, they should have said a lot lower speed.
Why would you say it's ridiculous? What's ridiculous about it?
It's travelling at 17,000 miles an hour due to gravity perpetually since 1998 with no issues whatsoever. It's science fiction, Craig.
There's been lots of issues.
Man.
There's been lots of issues. And again, it was verified from Earth by people that have nothing to do with NASA. You can't just the size, position, altitude of the ISS. We went through that.
There would be footage of this.
We know the ISS is where it is, at the speed they say it is, at the height they say it is, because it's been verified independently from Earth by Red's Rhetoric and Astronomy Live.
Who are globe defenders. I don't trust them, Craig. Sorry.
Yeah, that's called incredulity, though. It doesn't matter whether you trust... Whether you trust them or not doesn't matter. Not trusting people doesn't debunk something that they did. And if you don't trust them... It doesn't prove it either.
It doesn't prove it either to me.
But, okay, well, what you would do then is repeat what they did to test it. Right? You absolutely cannot say you don't trust them unless you are willing to do the same thing that they did. Otherwise, that's just dishonest.
That's a fair enough comment. I would have to do the same things to verify. I said the same to Michael Toon about photographing the sun and its angular size. I haven't done it. So to believe someone on the internet is quite naive, actually, in 2023. We're a bit more awake than we were 30 years ago, Craig.
Well, it would seem not, to be honest, because people still don't understand relative motion and how to verify things independently. Here's the thing, Al. Everyone that says they're awake really isn't.
Oh, and everyone that says conspiracy theories are all a load of bollocks. My goodness.
Well, I don't say that all conspiracy theories are bollocks, but the conspiracy theory around flat Earth and space being fake is absolutely bollocks.
And what about something like COVID?
Irrelevant to the shape of the Earth.
It is completely irrelevant, yeah.
Fucking sucked when I got it, and would have been a lot worse if I didn't have my vaccine.
Wow. Well, we're not going to go there, but I thought I'd mention it. They're the sort of people that are dead asleep, mate. The people that took the vaccine. So
yeah, but the people that didn't take the vaccine, like Flat Earth Fucker, are actually dead. So
are you talking? What the hell are you talking about?
Flat Earth Fucker went live with COVID, complaining about how ill he was, refusing to take the vaccine, died 2 days later. Rob Skiba got ill with COVID, refused to take the vaccine, died. Simple. That's all I'm saying. People that didn't take the vaccine died from COVID. That's all it needs to be said.
People are dropping dead left, right and centre that took the vaccine, Craig. Come on, man.
Yeah, but no more than they did beforehand. There's no change in the death rates of things.
I think there is.
No, there isn't.
Anyway,
I've categorically researched that. But anyway, back to space travel.
We're going well off piste, aren't we? Let's go back. Let's go back to the ski slope of flat Earth and fake space and fake space travel.
Holy crap! Else we got 301 new members. That's a record, guys. Thank you.
Right, Indian moon landings.
Yeah, what about them?
I knew you were going to say that. They had the chance to really impress us, didn't they? And what did they give us? Not PlayStation 5 graphics, PlayStation 1 graphics, for goodness sake.
But that, again, there's lots of images of it actually happening. That particular image was just whilst they were doing it, and it wasn't to display to the public. That was their, visual representation of what was happening so that they could monitor it. But
if you Google... If you have a quick search online, that is what they show the public. They keep showing that PlayStation 1 graphic.
Yeah, because this is what was shown to the public because that was what was available at the time. This was just what they were using as a representation of the data that they were receiving at the time. But
That's just
there is
embarrassing.
many videos and pictures of it actually happening. And in fact, in my chat right now is Professor Philip Bell, who was personally involved in the first Chandrayaan mission, the one that did a hard landing on the moon, i.e. crashed. So he was personally involved in the maths involved for getting the first Chandrayaan lander to the moon.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got someone in my chat that personally was involved with these missions. The fact
Is
that
he-
they
is he-
had this does not disprove the moon landings, the Indian moon landings. And have you actually searched for real images, yes or no?
Yes, I have. Yes.
And did you find any?
No, I found some very arty PlayStation 5 graphics, still shots of India on the moon.
Was it the same
And I found some
search you
very
did?
ropey looking footage of a lunar lander going down a ramp. Very poor frame rate, very poor footage, very obviously fake.
Well,
That was supposed to be the
say
real
it's
footage.
obviously fake, except that it's not. Just saying it's fake doesn't make it fake. It shows exactly what we expect to see. I don't understand this. Well, it's obviously fake. What qualifications, Al, do you have to determine if video footage is fake or not?
I've had a PlayStation 1 and I've had a PlayStation 5.
That doesn't say that you can determine if something is fake or not. Me, I am a videographer. I am a video editor. I am an expert in Photoshop. I have actually created my own CGI. I would say that I am... Excuse me. I would say that I'm personally qualified to determine if something is real or not. And none of the things that you show me which are claimed to be real look anything other than real. And I've actually got qualifications to be able to determine that. I mean, you just look at things and go, that's fake. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of actual images of the landing.
Go on then, put some up.
Well, I don't have them to hand.
Um,
But there's lots of them. They're easy to find, and they don't look like CGI. Just because there was one telemetry data image that is CGI means nothing.
why is there checkerboard on it?
On what?
On the yellow lunar lander?
Why is there checkerboard on it?
Why is there checkerboard image on it?
Just because they put it on there?
Because they're Freemasons, that's why.
No, I
And they like
think
to-
I don't think Indians are
just-
Freemasons.
I don't think Indians are Freemasons.
No, and,
Bloody hell.
and nothing. All this nonsense about Freemasons. Do you know what Freemasons actually do? Right, an initiation for a Freemason involves drinking lots and telling people what charity work you will do. Right, and I know this because I personally know Freemasons, including my barber. Thank you. And they don't control anything. They're not some secret cabal. It's just a fucking guys club where they get together, drink a lot, and do community work. That's it. There is no evidence anywhere, ever, that Freemasons control the world. Nothing. Al, why are you laughing? There is no evidence. It's a stupid claim.
Just another conspiracy theory.
It is a conspiracy theory because Freemasons don't do the things that you guys say that they do.
Okay, put the postcards up that I sent you.
Postcards? What postcards?
There's a few images of postcards.
Oh, yeah. So, because some people that went to space are Masons, what does that prove?
Proves nothing.
Well, exactly. So what does it matter that postcards have stamps that say Mason on?
Because they're very proud of Masons on the moon, as they say in one of the postcards.
And I'd be quite happy if someone from my organisation got to the moon as well.
Put them up. Put the postcards up. I just want to put them up. You might as well.
One sec.
We've got to see them. There you go.
I mean, have you checked the authenticity of this?
How do I do that? They're just on the internet, mate.
By doing research. So what you're saying is you just went online, you found something, and you just believed it was what they said it was without checking. Is that right?
I doubt these have been photoshopped by flat earthers, mate. Put the commemorative coin up as well.
No one said they've been photoshopped by flat earthers, but all you've done is you've gone online, you've grabbed an image and gone, haha, Masons on the moon. But where is your proof that this is a legitimate thing? Like, seriously.
Can't prove it. I can't prove it, can I? It's what's out there, mate.
Well, you can.
There.
You can research the thing that you found. You can look at if this is anywhere else. You can. There's several ways to research if this is true, to find if this is a legitimate thing.
I don't doubt that they are Masons and they're throwing it in your face. I just don't doubt that, I'm afraid.
So we're supposed to just go with your beliefs instead of research. I don't understand. Like.
Most of what people have a belief.
So what that some people were Masons that were on the moon? That doesn't change anything. Again, Freemasons are not anything special. They are just a guys' drinking club that do charity work in their local communities. That's literally it.
That's literally what it is on the face of it, Craig. I'm not fucking stupid, mate. Bloody Nora.
But there's no secret cabal underneath it. You know, where do you get this nonsense? People online tell you it, and you just believe it. Whereas me, I went and spoke to the Masons.
No, Craig. 8 years I've been fucking looking at this, pal. 8 years.
Right, and how many Masons have you spoken to?
I've spoken to a few. I've got a friend.
And how many
Mason,
temples? How many actual Mason temples have you been to, and gone in and spoken to them and asked about their initiations? Have you ever done that?
But you don't do that unless you remember.
Well, I did.
What, you went with your friend? What, you just knocked on the door and said, "Oh, could I come and look around?"
I went with my barber, who's a Mason. Right, there's no problem with this, right? There's no evidence anywhere that Masons control the world. Do you know there's just as many people in Masons as there is the Order of Mad Fellows, right? And a lot of the people that are in Masons are also in the Order of Mad Fellows. The Order of Mad Fellows is just the same thing. It's just another drinking club with lodges that do community work. That's it. They don't control the world. The fact that there's been some powerful people that are in Masons also doesn't mean anything. It's a cool club to be a member of. But that in no way means that Masons are secretly controlling the trajectory of humanity. That is literally just a baseless nonsense conspiracy theory that no one has ever presented evidence. It is baseless.
Not baseless. Craig, they write books and tell us, mate. They write books and tell us in plain sight what they're doing.
No. There's no books from Masons that tell you they control the world. That doesn't exist.
They tell you that the world is run by signs and symbols.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, Masons have nothing to do with telling you the world is controlled by something. The Masons are literally nothing to do with world control. This, again, is just a baseless claim that's come from conspiracy theories. If you actually speak to real
baseless,
Masons...
Craig.
It is baseless. There is no evidence
Absolutely
for it.
not baseless.
No, it's 100% baseless because there's no evidence for it. If you actually go and research and speak to Masons and look into it, you find that all of the conspiracy nonsense is just nonsense. The problem is, Al, that you haven't actually researched it in any proper way. All you've done is look at things online that people have said.
No, I don't, Craig. That's really, really doing me a disservice. How
have you researched Freemasons then? What have you done?
It's called esoteric, Craig. You don't research the Masons because you're just going to get fucking lied to.
Oh, so how do you know about the Masons then?
Because they have to throw it in your face. They have to tell you what they're doing before they do it. They have to show you who they are with their signs and symbols, and they do that.
There's no evidence for any of that. You're just making this up.
No, I'm not making it up.
You really are. There's no evidence for any of these claims about Freemasons.
There is evidence. There's evidence everywhere. Proof.
Show me some evidence then. Show me some evidence that Freemasons are controlling the world.
You'd have to watch my Facebook.
I've watched your Facebook, and your Facebook has no evidence apart from nonsense conspiracy theories.
I've got 8 years of fucking evidence.
Yeah, and I've looked through your stuff. Everything that you post is just nonsense conspiracy stuff from other people. That's it.
It's not
no evidence that Masons control anything.
No, it's not just from other people. Stop saying that.
It is, though. I've looked at your posts. It's just nonsense from other people that you repost.
It's not. No, it's not.
No, it literally is. I've looked at your
You've
page.
only been on my Facebook for a few months, for fuck's sake.
And I have looked way back through your posts, right? All of your posts about disproving stuff and Freemasons and that are just what other people have said that you're going, look, see? That's it.
No, it's not. You do me a complete disservice. That sometimes I share stuff because we share information, we share truth. I find loads of things off my own back and post it, mate. Like the REM video.
What do you mean off your own back? What do you consider finding things off your own back?
Okay, so when I was working, I'd be at work, I'd hear a song on the radio, REM, stand. I go, bloody hell, clock the lyrics of that. I jump in the van, I get on my phone, I look at the lyrics, I go, fucking hell. Then I go to the video and go, oh wow. REM are literally telling us that the world's flat. Found it
REM
myself.
are not telling you that
Nobody else
REM are a band.
I posted it.
Your Your evidence that Masons control the world is a song by REM.
Yeah, and plenty of other songs as well by professional
They're
musicians.
songs. That's it.
Musicians have to be connected, otherwise they don't go very far, Craig. It's not it. That's just one thing I've shown you.
Do you know the bassist? Do you know the bassist from REM is like has a master's degree in astrophysics?
Right. Okay.
Right.
Probably
he knows that space is real. He knows that space is real and the Earth's a globe. REM do not think the Earth is flat. Lyrics are just lyrics in a song. That's it. Dude, I asked you for evidence. No, I asked you for evidence of your claim, and you said a song by REM. A song by REM is not evidence that Masons control the world. I'm sorry.
I have told you, let me speak now. I have told you I have 8 years of that. That is just one thing I found. I've got 8 years of evidence, mate. No, it's not proof. I accept it's not proof. You're dying to talk, ain't you? Fucking shut up.
I haven't said anything. I'm not saying anything. You're like Caleb yesterday. Right, Caleb yesterday, randomly, out of nowhere, just started going, ha! You're so triggered! That's what you're doing right now. I wasn't saying any words.
You were just looking like you wanted to speak. No, listen, mate. I've had 8 years of seeing this, and it builds evidence. It's very hard to prove. I've never said anything esoteric is proof. It's very hard to prove, but the evidence is everywhere. That is just one thing I found.
But a song
it's the music
is
video.
not evidence.
It's not just hang on. It's not just the lyrics. It's the music video. Yeah. Absolutely smashes
music videos are not evidence against things. They're just music videos that are made to be cool. That's it.
They're not just made to be cool.
Yes,
if you look at this video is clearly telling us, have a think about this. Think about where you live.
But REM know the Earth is a globe. They have talked about it. Right. I can actually send you a podcast, right, where REM were being interviewed, and they are asked about all these conspiracy theories, like the song they did about talking to the moon and stuff, and if it's real. And they're asked about the conspiracy theories, and they all start laughing, and they go, "It's just songs. It's just music." REM.
Of course they're going to.
Oh, right. So now you're going to say that REM themselves are also lying. So your evidence is a music video and a song that a band say isn't the thing that you say it is. So you are just deciding that something is evidence when even the people that made that thing say it's not the thing that you say it is.
The people that made that thing are not going to come out and go, the Earth's flat, by the way. They've got too much bloody power for that. They're not allowed, Craig. They're not allowed.
Who tells them they're not allowed? And what's going to happen if they say the wrong thing?
Well, I'm not saying they'd get wiped out, but they know not to say the right thing. For fuck's sake,
there is no secret cabal.
They're enlightened Freemasons. They're enlightened.
No, they're not.
Freemasons,
REM are not Freemasons.
They're all connected. They don't make it on this world unless you're connected.
What?
You don't make it on top of this world unless you are connected, Craig.
So, right, my channel has literally been the top flat earth debate channel in the world for about 4 years, right? Which would put me on top. Am I connected?
I don't know that, Craig. I don't want to sit here and look into your face and say,
you're
a lying bastard.
Right? This is a council flat, right? I live in a council flat. How connected am I?
I didn't say you were rich.
So if I was connected to the rich and powerful, You think I'd be happy with being stuck in a council flat?
I don't know. It's a council flat.
There is no rich and powerful cabal connected to the Freemasons controlling the world. It just doesn't exist.
That's fine. You're going to keep saying that. I am never, ever, 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 ever going to agree with you because I'm fucking good at what I do.
Well, you're not, because you've never actually researched the Freemasons properly by speaking to them and stuff. I mean, all of the things
you're making yourself sound so naive.
All of the things that you've shown today,
they're going to confirm that they're not up to anything.
All of the things that you've shown me today, I have explained and debunked for you. Just saying the Freemasons control the world doesn't change anything. The Freemasons are just a drinking club that do community work. That's it.
Their temple does not look like a drinking club, pal.
It is a drinking club. All about? It's literally a drinking club.
What does the checkerboard mean?
Irrelevant. They're just a drinking club that do community work. That's it. And no amount of laughing incredulously is going to change this fact. Or you've never... Like, 8 years, you have never actually researched the Freemasons. You have looked at things online that you use your bias to think it confirms what you say and gone, aha, I'm right. I'm sorry, but that's all you've ever done.
I look at stuff all around the world, not just online. I look at everything and I see it everywhere.
Well, possibly that's a problem that you need to deal with.
Just you denying it's not going to change it either, mate.
Well, no, you're the one denying things here. I have actually spoken to the Freemasons and looked into what happens, whereas you haven't, which would mean you are the one that is just denying things.
No.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I've got evidence,
and I've checked. I went and personally checked, and they said you were wrong. So...
You believe them?
I've no reason to not believe them because there's no evidence to suggest otherwise. It just
of course, you're not going to get evidence. You spoke to someone and they said, "No, we're not up to something."
I've done more than just spoke to people. I actually looked into it. There is no evidence that Freemasons control the world. Simple as that. It is 100% conspiracy nonsense. This is just a fact, right? Space is real. NASA do what they say they do. Moons exist, stars exist, it's all real, and the Earth is a globe.
And vaccines are for our health.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
polio.
Brilliant.
What happened to polio? That's right, it was wiped out by vaccines out.
Fuck fruit and vegetables. Get a vaccine in your eye.
Yeah, fruit and vegetables aren't going to cure a new virus that's decimating humanity.
Craig, I've never been ill in my life, mate, because I've worked outdoors because I've got a fucking immune system.
Yeah, and you know what? Your immune system doesn't have to deal with polio thanks to vaccines.
So we're told.
No, factually, they introduced the polio vaccine, polio went away.
Nothing wrong with Big Pharma then. Big Pharma not up to anything, are they?
Never said that.
Absolutely brilliant.
Never said that. But there's no evidence that vaccines are evil. Right? Vaccines save billions of lives.
Bill Gates, this is turning into conspiracy hour, not
and there's certainly no evidence that Bill Gates is doing anything wrong. That's just ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Who are the bad people in this world, Craig? Who are they? The Iraqis? What the
evil people that want to hurt other people.
People that want to control other people. People that want
there's no
other
evidence
people to have
that's the
bad
Freemasons.
Health. They are a big part of it, yeah. They're not the only fraternity.
Well, you say that, but there's no evidence behind that. It's just, something you say.
No, I've told you there's evidence, mate, because they tell you what they're doing. They have to.
But they've never told us that they're controlling the world, so...
Well, not literally, no.
Yeah, so they don't tell us. Right.
I'm not sure you grasp how it all
you just
works,
contradicted
mate.
Yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Right, so any more evidence against space travel?
I've got some evidence against the moon not being a solid object that you can space travel to and land on.
Well, just
before
you go with that, Society. I have personally used lasers to bounce off the retroreflectors on the moon. So there's definitely something there, but please carry on.
So the Royal Astronomical Society has recorded seeing stars through the moon, and I'm very confused about that.
No,
that's
again,
been documented.
It's not stars. It's dead pixels. Because if it was stars, then we would know what star it was, and it would be on star maps. But whenever you look at these supposed stars through the moon, it doesn't match any stars that we know exist. All it is dead or hot pixels in a picture.
Nice answer, Craig. Nice answer.
It's factual because I can take a photo with a dodgy camera and get the same thing.
Well, the Royal Astronomical Society seem to be very confused about it and don't claim that it's a pixel. They seem very confused.
Maybe someone was confused, but they were probably confused because it looked like a star and there wasn't any stars that matched that so-called position of the stars. But no, any picture ever that shows stars through the moon, you can clearly see that it's, when you zoom in on the stuff, that it's just a hot or dead pixel. If it was a star, then it would be on star maps, and they never are. Is there anything else?
I don't think I've got anything else on my list because I didn't want to go over the top. I had 11 points.
So, to be fair,
it would all be off the top of my head now.
To be fair, like, all you've done is kind of misunderstand things, like how an orbit would look from your perspective and stuff, you know? What we see with an orbit is exactly what we expect. You have to remember, the Earth is curving down in front of you. So if there is a rocket going into orbit, following the curve of the Earth, then from your perspective, it's also going to curve down. That's exactly how it would look if you were watching a rocket go into orbit in front of you.
If the Earth was tiny, yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I pulled out my headset by accident. What did you say?
I said, if the Earth was tiny, yes.
No, it matches the size of the Earth.
Not for
Again,
me.
it's going into space, up really high, and then moving down over the horizon in front of you. Because it's following the curvature of the Earth. We see exactly what we expect to see. If you're saying it's too small, then you would have to substantiate that by mathematically modelling it out.
Yes, that's the fair point. I haven't mathematically modelled it out. I'm just using good old discernment, say, not buying it. Sorry.
Well, that's called incredulity and doesn't present evidence of anything. To substantiate a claim like that, you would have to actually model it out to show if your claim is true. I can do it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do it. Not right now, but I'm going to use my 3D modeling software to put the trajectory of an orbit on and put the camera at certain positions to show you what it would look like. Simple.
Okay. You do that. I'll make a video on that REM song.
Please do, because a song by a band does not prove anything.
Echo Belly, The World is Flat.
Yeah, again, just a song.
Why? It's not just a song, though.
Well, it is just a song. It's literally a song. That's just what it is.
Truth in music lies in the news.
This is literal conspiracy nonsense.
They put the truth. They have to tell us the truth.
Bands are not
Craig.
secretly giving us messages with their songs.
They have to put the truth out there, and they don't put it on the news.
Who says they? Why do they have to put the truth out there? Who says that?
Because it's philosophical to them. They have to tell the public what they're doing.
Have you got any evidence?
In your face.
Have you got any evidence of that, or is it just something you're saying?
The in-your-face evidence, like the checkerboard on the Indian moon landings. They have to put it in your fucking face.
Have you researched why that's there?
I'd question your Route 66 top if I was going to be really mean.
I just bought this. I literally just bought this from Asda. It's nothing special. It was just a shirt that I thought looked cool because it's got a skull on it. That's it.
It's got. No, I think you were attracted to the 66, probably.
What's 66 got to do with anything, though?
It's your dual 33s.
It's not 666.
Your dual. That's your 666, and the three fingers are your 33 as well.
Oh, God's sakes. Have you any idea how many images there is online of me apparently doing this? All right, it's just something that when you're talking, your hands go like this. It's nothing special.
I still do it. I still do A-OK because I did it for years before I realised what it actually meant.
It just means okay. Like when you do scuba diving, it's a very specific meaning.
Yeah, and this matrix we live in has double meanings, esoteric meanings.
We don't live in a matrix.
They tell us that devil horns means I love you as well.
It just
Oh,
means
shit.
rock on.
I've spilt water all over my notes, but I'll finish
Well,
my
that's
notes now.
It is getting a bit late now, so should we maybe bring it to a close?
Yeah, man, I'm cool with that.
All right, Al. It honestly is nice talking to you. It's been a heated discussion, but I don't mind that. All right.
I was too soft last time.
I
A few
do like a
people told me
dumpster
that.
fire.
A few people
Right.
told me that. So.
Al, you're a nice guy. I genuinely like you, but you've fallen into the rabbit hole, and you need to get out.
I would say the same to you, Craigie.
I know, because I test my reality. That's the thing. I physically test my reality. All right.
I think sometimes people are too smart for their own good.
Well, I'm smart enough to test my reality. That's all I've done.
I have to trust you on that, but show me something that I can do myself.
You can do a Foucault's pendulum experiment yourself. It's quite easy.
Would I know that it's definitely the curve, the rotation of the Earth moving? That I wouldn't know that personally.
Well, if you do science, then
that
that would be the prediction that you would be looking into. But anyway, Al, thank you. Right, I'm just going to quickly check that if there's any questions for you in Super Chat. So give me one sec.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Fuck. At some point.
Fucking seizing up. I sat on the floor tonight rather than on the sofa, so I could see the stuff on the screen a bit better. But I'm seizing up now.
Housoy asks, do you know what an albedo is?
An albino?
An albedo.
Oh no,
Like
I thought it said albino.
Like the albedo
really
of
pale
Earth.
Skin and really blonde hair, pale skin.
Yeah, not them. No. Okay, so
Red eye.
basically, Housoy is asking you about your logic of the moon and light, and then he asked well, think about the fact that there can be shadows on snow, and look up what an albedo is. Okay. I have some.
I'll write that down.
Back from the dead, he'll say Red Bull jumped. Okay, don't Craig. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't think there's any more questions for you.
Just insults.
Well, maybe. All right. Well, JL for $50, thank you, bud, asks, why can't the Freemasons just be a brotherhood? Why must they rule the world?
Well, that is the accusation. They can just be a brotherhood, but it doesn't seem that way. If you look at their temples, mate, it's not just a boys' club, is it? I mean, come on, there's all sorts of signs and symbols.
It really is.
It's stuff that the general public don't know about, mate. That's why you have to have an initiation and be sworn to secrecy about what you learn.
Yeah, so, I mean, basically there's no reason why they can't be just a brotherhood. But yeah, no, that's it. There's no other messages from you. So, Al, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I know it's late. So thank you very much, buddy. And I'm sure we'll speak soon again, all right? Take it easy.
We will. Take care, Craig. See you, man.
Bye. Oh, my poor, poor brain. Why? Why must humans be like this? Whilst we were streaming, I got a Discord message from Flatzoid. It says, hey, Felicia, hope you're doing well. Thanks for proving the flat earth. I'm guessing he's talking about my debate with Caleb yesterday, and I can't wait to see how Flatzoid misunderstands the things that I've said. Flatzoid's the king of gaslighting. It's hilarious. He's taken on Felicia, though. We no longer call it space-time, we call it Felicia. Okay, right, guys. Just looking at the chat revenue and the new members, you guys are mental. Like, I think this may have taken me up to about 1,400 members. Like, actually insane. I love you all, not you, Gary. Okay, where did we get to? We got to PhD Tony for $2 says, did someone just accuse Caleb of thinking? Yeah, Caleb can't think. Oh, I've not checked in a while. Wonder what kind of hissy fit he's been throwing on X. He's not been saying anything. Yes, I did spank him. And I want to do it again. Sorry, right, I'll stop replying to Flerfs on X whilst I'm streaming. Got to Timo Lynch for €2. Has Al tried turning off and on again? He did, and it worked. Icy Spin. Oh shit, I forgot to ask him about the magic water ball. Thank you very much. Mark Grondin for $10 Canadian, just as something to help with the lawsuits. We've read that one. It's a Rubik's for $2 says, I see my NASA spy satellites aren't doing their job. No, they're not. And it's a Rubik's. I'm looking forward to seeing you next year. PhD Tony. Only real man in the room. $5 says, ask Al where the satellite data I analysed come from. He said, you're a liar. Stop the Stupid became a new member. You fucking awesome person, you. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, why is this guy's brain so dull and lifeless? Boom. Fucking hell. Excuse me. So much talking dries my throat. Someone in the chat saying, debate Johnny on UFOs. Why? I don't have a position on UFOs. UFOs are unidentified flying objects. There's nothing to debate. House I-50 Nokia's asking why there can be shadows on snow. Because by his moon logic about a bright surface, there shouldn't be. Does he know what an albedo is? No, he had to research it. David Lee 199 says, oh, to set Tony loose on this jackwagon, that would be fun. Maybe next time. Stringer News 1, $2. Satellites to look at Uranus. Don't look at my Uranus. David Lee 199. Oh, just read that one. Walking Man for £2. Just so you guys know, it's going to take a while to get through these super chats. I do want to go to bed at some point. Just so you're aware. I'd love to go to bed. Walking Man £2. I have some magic beans for sale. Is he interested? I want the magic beans. Give me the magic beans. String News 1 for $2 says cars don't exist because clay models, so I'm told. Ziggy Sigweld comes in and he says, all of you, look under your seat and you're going to find the membership. And then he gifts 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, Jesus, Ziggy gifted 250 memberships, people. If you became a member today and you didn't buy it, say thank you to Ziggy. Where are we? Ziggy Sigwell, member for 25 months, says, back from the dead, Hail Sagan. I missed you, Ziggy. Ziggy Sigwell, number 50 memberships. Holy Smokes for $5. The Red Bull jump shows the curve of the Earth from inside the capsule. Yeah, but it's still hard to determine if it is the curve of the Earth because, like, the cameras and shit. But Joe Ellis for £5 says, damn it, Craig, I should be asleep, but your channel was compelling to watch at times. I've got to be up early for work tomorrow. Much love from Brum. Thank you very much, buddy. Really appreciate the super chat. Making sure you all get hearts. Ziggy Sigwald 50 ARS. Actually, when the Red Bull guy is falling, he's experienced 0G when accelerating towards Earth. Hail Sagan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right. PhD Tony for $10 Australian. Newton's law of motion apply unchanged under a constant velocity. As long as everything is moving at the same velocity, the system behaves in exactly the same manner as a stationary system. Yet he said that's science fiction bullshit. So I guess not, right? Holy Smalls, member for 36 months, says, you heard it here. Clickbait is facts. Icy Spin, I think Ziggy is insane. I love him. Ziggy Sigwald, 100 ARSs. Red's Rhetoric also has a set of pictures taken from a video dragging capsules docked to the ISS after launch. Yeah, Reds was amazing at what he did. Absolutely destroyed the Flerfs. Icy Spin 199 says, ow, what would convince you that you're wrong? Oh shit, I missed that one. I'm sorry, I do apologise. Ziggy Sigwald, again, 100 ARS. He's a conspiratoid. This is new. Usually it's just pose of very ignorant people. Conspirahonics are at least committed to their paranoia. Yeah, he really is, isn't he? Jesus. Ziggy! Ziggy! That's 350 members! Ziggy Sigwald 50 ARS has said, did FTFE just said, I used the fuck off pendulum? Yeah, the fuck off pendulum. Another 50 members from Ziggy. Stringing is one for $2. The gyro bob used listed for $500, not 20k. I bet they paid 20k though, because they're thick as fuck. Nike Spirits for €6. Nikkei here. Nikkei Spirits. You must have a massive headache if you put up with so much stupidity and ignorance. Get well before you do this again. Yeah, I have a permanent migraine, guys. 3-1 member for 8 months says, Al Truther's constant denial with zero evidence to back him up just makes him more and more pathetic. What's that excuse for a man? Ooh, meanie. I get it though. Joe Ellis, member for 5 months, says, Craig rules. I do. You're right. Ziggy Sigwald, another 50 members. The Rocket Couch, member for 6 months, halfway around the sun, says, as an expert in Rocket Couch, I can confirm this guy knows nothing about rockets. Hashtag research Weenie Earth. Don't research Weenie Earth. Ziggy Sigwald 50 Iris says, FTFE asked to Flerf if he forgot to bring his brain to the debate. They always do, Ziggy. Borks says for $2 Australian, doesn't get 3D. Good luck with orbital mechanics. Way over their head. Toads in my eyes, $2 says, big numbers are scary. Earth small. Flerf mantra, yeah. Scale just... Nikkei Spirits for €2 says, big numbers are scary is what Al must be thinking. Yeah, Flerfs have that in general. 17,000, oh no! Rainer Franz Prinsloo for $10 says, as a commercial aircraft tech of 20 years, I can confirm the computers of the plane check the fiber optic gyros for its position on the plane of Earth. Yeah, because, you know, they're based on a globe. Skidmark McGee has been a member for 16 months and says, I didn't take it and I'm alive, but I agree. People should take it. Take what? Oh, the vaccine, yes. Yeah. Rainer Franz Prinsloo for $2. Oh, and the computers check it to GPS data. Yeah, they have to. Otherwise the plane doesn't work. Then another $2 says, and they will yell at you if it does not match. Yeah, the plane doesn't start if it's not right. Stringer News 1 for $2 says, it's the Egg Council that controls the world. That is top secret. Please don't let everyone know that. Fact Based for $2 Australian says, 8 years and still a clueless clown. Education, dude. I know, right? It's sad, isn't it? Eon Dust for $2 Australian says, this guy sounds like Howard Stirrup Light. Howard ducked out of a debate with me, right? We'd arranged to have a conversation. He then demanded it be on Jeranism's channel, but complained about the format Jeranism wanted, and then cancelled. So, fuck you, Howard. David D says for $5 Australian, I am a Freemason and part of a lodge with a more exoterial take. Never controlled the world. Hopefully one day. No, you're not allowed. Toads in my eyes for $5 says pareidolia, but for conspiracies. Conspiradolia, if you will. Sounds about right. Timo Lynch for €2 says twist in my sobriety is Al's anthem. Icy Spin 199 says this is the sunk coast fallacy, full stop. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that up. Tim Davison $5 says, so there's a stairway to heaven and a highway to hell, so they had projected usage? Songs are real, guys. They're the real truth. Eon Dust for $5 Australian says, what about Daft Punk's Around the World? That's a song, so the Earth confirmed round then. God. Around the world, around the world. I wonder how long it took to come up with the lyrics to that song. You know, if ever someone came to me and put a gun to my head and said, tell me the lyrics to a whole song right now or I'm going to kill you, I'd just start saying around the world until they went away. Traveller X, who's been a member for 46 months, says, glad I ogled in. Going to have Judas Priest rock you around the world playing in my head all day. And JL gave me $50. I read that one out about the Freemasons being a brotherhood. He says, why must they rule the world? The zeitgeist of our current society has to find a scapegoat. It's always someone's fault. People aren't able to keep a secret for that long. Chai, and this is Chai's third super chat. Thank you very much, Chai. Says, for $5, this has been a very pointless debate, even as far as flat earthers go. I don't believe this, and I won't believe any explanations you give. Yeah. Frustrating, isn't it? Clarence AS2 for £5 says, Sleeper had a song, good luck Mr. Grosky. This is confirmation Neil Armstrong's neighbour got lucky when he walked on the moon. There's a song by the Eels called Novocaine for the Soul. What the fuck does that mean? What about Ocean Colour Scene? And they're like, ride the train. None of the lyrics to Ocean Colour Scene make sense. Glober Mum, my favourite mum, apart from my actual mum, says for $5, his evidence, an account of an appearance of light, like a star, seen in the dark part of the moon on Friday the 7th of March, 1794, by William Wilkins. Have to look into that one. Tim Davidson, $5, says, after Star Trek, Captain Kirk attempted a lingerie line, Shatner panties. Didn't really take up. Bill Tetley, hey buddy, for $5, hey, fight the flat shirt, you sexy beast. It's getting bigger. Even this side, look at that. Muscles coming on my bad side. Hey, fight the flat shirt, you sexy beast. Sorry I missed the stream. Here's the money I promised to send you so you don't leak those pictures of me. Shit, sorry guys. Bill, I've already let those pictures out, dude. Sorry, I gave you a time to have it done by and you didn't, so pictures are out, you know. Lovebot, still not telling you what I programmed you for. Member for 24 months says, beep boop, whoa, that was... Can I be let out of the basement? No. No, you cannot be let out of the basement, and I'm not feeding you. Vic, my favourite Canadian Viking, who's been a member for 3 months, says, so happy this wasn't as bad as last night. You need to get Caleb on your channel so you can give the pompous tit a proper rinsing. I'm trying to get him on Simon Dan's channel. And considering I met all his conditions to debate on a Flat Earthers channel, if he doesn't now come and debate me on Simon Dan's channel, he's a coward. Nathan Bishop for $5 says, any Flat Earthers who even mention NASA's name should automatically disqualified from debating anything relating to flat or globe Earth. Flat Earthers love NASA way more than us. JL, thank you, $50, says, I couldn't get Sleeping Warrior to respond to me on Flatsoy's channel the other day. He tried to sound like he understood physics. So I brought up the time he failed to define the angles of an equilateral triangle, but now he's a physics expert. Yeah, he hasn't a fucking clue about anything. Sleeping Warrior is one of the dumbest humans alive. Siggy Sigwell gives another 50 memberships. Today I got 351 members. Fucking insane. Lovebot199 says, hail Siggy, not you Gary. Love, tap this like button. Yeah. Right, we're at 255 likes. If we get to 300, I'll dance naked. Nearkel, $5, says, songs are just songs. What would Al think of Bad Religion's Flat Earth Society? Bulks for $2 says, I hope the Flerf doesn't listen to Come On Eileen. did that Bill Tetley for $5 says, since you leaked those pics, here's one more super chat so you can't go to bed. I want to sleep. I like sleep. Oh my god, guys. I've had a great couple of days. Absolutely amazing. Tomorrow, you know it's Tuesday, so you go and watch MC Toon. I demand it. But for now, I want to say thank you for the incredibly insane amount of support that you guys have given me over the past 2 days. It's absolutely fantastic. Ziggy, thank you for all the members. Thank you everyone for the super chats. JL for the ridiculously large super chats you give me today, and everyone else for the stupidly large amount of support that you always give my channel. Just by being here, watching, and hitting the like button, you are supporting me. If you really, really want to help the channel, then make it a personal mission of yours to get one of your friends to subscribe to the channel. Icy Spin has been a member for 4 months, says, I really do appreciate Jeranism's ability to moderate fairly and stay out of the conversation. It's a tough task to not jump in. Yeah. Whatever we all think about Jeranism, he is one of the best moderators that I have ever had. And I would gladly let him moderate any debate I do. Charlie Welch for $2 says, Durple Rain. thank you everyone for watching. I've had a great couple of days. Very, very tiring, especially being up till like 4 in the morning yesterday. Remember, enjoy the song.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself.
Bill Tetley says no sleep till Brooklyn.
YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible.
Go on, Mr. Sensible.
When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first, full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere on page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need the hard Siberian Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognise the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe a musical assault and knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realise you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of.
You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no brain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kicked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit
Can we
loop short of
pretend
a
that
full bowl.
airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I writ up on your mum's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you call a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sources unless you're serving them. And I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Thank you everyone for watching and being here and supporting me. NA comes in with a $66.60 super chat. Says, I don't even like this channel, Greg. Sorry I'm late. Well, I don't like you either. Fuck off. Well, thank you very much, NA. You know I love you. In fact, I love all of you. Every single one of you watching. Not you, Gary. Yeah, you, Gary. No, I don't. Not you. I love every one of you, just not you. Not specifically you, you, Gary. I don't love you. But the rest of you, I love you. Remember, And this is important, guys. I mean, this should be like, you know, a life lesson ingrained in your brain. Just remember, right, that stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
Oh, Cheswick is a wanker. He wears a tinfoil hat. The conspiracies he believes in just make him look a twat. And everybody laughs at him when he tries to write a tune, 'cause every single word he sings makes him look a loon. Now Cheswick went on mastermind to prove the earth was flat, but he sat there looking gormless, just like Daniel Pratt. When they asked him for some evidence of a non-rotating disc, he spouted loads of gibberish and sounded like he's pissed. Mr. Cheswick is a loser. He tried to strike fight down. He didn't know Craig's a sailor, which made him look a clown. His online views are pitiful. He's as popular as the clap. He talks about conspiracies and believes the world is crap. Now Cheswick's brand of stupid is something to behold. He says that COVID's just made up and he thinks that moonlight's cold. Well, he's a prick of all trades and a master of none. And when you ask him simple things, he just says, oh, well, when Cheswick talks geometry or distance to the sun, he just comes out in a nasty rash and then he bites his tongue. He's clueless how to use a sextant or theodolite. He runs away from easy questions at the speed of light.
Level